Hey everyone, week 2 with Esteban Carreras Cigars. This week we are smoking the Chupita. These guys here, the Chupita Chupacabra. Stay tuned. Get it. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Santino's Sunday Cigar Review. This is week 2 with Esteban Carreras Cigars. Sorry for the little time delay. We had that event last week that you guys got to see, the tasting panel we were at with the Bartenders Guild. This week we're going to be smoking the Chupacabra, the Chupitas. Nice little cigars. With me today I have Melissa. Say hi.
Hello.
You guys all know Melissa, one of our great employees and avid friend and fan of the show. She's popular. So before I cut and light into this thing, I wanted to kind of show it off a little bit. All the Chupacabras come with a closed foot. The excess tobacco on the wrapper has been folded over the bottom. And one of these, the nifty little pigtail finish on the top of the cigar. We haven't done very many cigars that have pigtail cappings on them. So we haven't been able to show it off. And we haven't been able to talk much about closed foots on a lot of cigars either. Not a lot of people are still doing a closed foot. So it's kind of cool that certain companies are still actually allowing that wrapper leaf to be the combustion on the end of the cigar. Anytime you have one of these pigtails, which literally looks like, you know, if you've got a girlfriend or wife or mom or any kind of female in your life, you've seen when they put that bun on their head, that's what this looks like. So all you do is follow the rotation of the pigtail and you turn, pigtail comes off, cigar breathes like a straw. It's that simple. Itty bitty little tobacco. The second thing I want to talk about when it comes to a closed foot is a lot of people like, you know, the whole toasting of a cigar. When you have a closed foot, you don't toast the bottom of a cigar. So you're not going to take that lighter and kind of warm it all up and do all that jazz. You're not going to do any of that. You actually just light this thing, okay? When you light it, the excess tobacco that's hanging off is going to control your burn. You literally, unless you torch this thing this way, there's no possible way for you to burn the wrapper on the cigar. Just like that. So, the cigar, Nicaraguan Puro. Of course, each of the cigars, this is the Habano, but the wrapper is Nicaraguan Habano and Oscuro. This does come in a Maduro, and the Maduro is Maduro and Oscuro. So, real Nicaraguan quality tobacco. A lot of people don't really know much about Esteban Carreras. As big of a company as they aren't spread throughout the brick and mortar side very often. All the guys down there are doing a great job starting to spread it out, and we're going to try and help make that happen a little more. The cigars are great. Everything that they have in their portfolio, from the 211s to the Hellcats, the Unforgivens, the cigars you'll see that we smoke in these episodes, amazing, amazing product. So, Melissa, what do you think so far?
It's got this nice, light, peppery flavor to it. Honestly, I've been putting off smoking this cigar, and I kind of wish I hadn't, because I do like the occasional short, quicker smoke.
Right.
And
You like the baby smokes.
I do, and I don't know why I haven't smoked this yet. It's delicious.
Yeah. So I've smoked quite a few, and actually in the week 3 of this series, we're going to smoke the Grand Toro and the Maduro of the Chupacabra. So I've smoked all of these all the way through every size, and right off the bat, this Chupita is almost, think of a Lancero that you cut in half, and that much focus is on that wrapper. It's like she said, right away there's this subtle spice, but there's still that dirty sweetness that you get from Nicaraguan soil, right? You know, the new pairing of the month that we have here at Santino's is another company's cigar, but with the 12-year Whistle Pig, the Old World cask finished rye. I used a term when I drank that and I put that pairing together. It's a carnival sweetness. Now, what I mean by that is, you know, when you go to a carnival, you get fried food, right? Fried Oreos or fried Snickers bars, fried dough. It's sweet, but it's such a hidden sweet because of all the fats and and the content from the actual frying agent that makes it so different. That's the kind of sweetness that I'm really starting to pull out of Nicaraguan Puros and the way the tobaccos are put together and rolled together. And this cigar's definitely got that. Maybe not the Carnival, not that weird sweetness I'm talking about, but a very subtle sweetness, and I like the hint of spice that comes over the top.
Yeah,
You know.
I agree.
Anything else on it?
I think you summarized it really well.
All right, Melissa, so what are we pairing this with today?
Today we are pairing with the Balvenie TUN 1509. Balvenie is normally known for having sweeter finishes. This particular one has a little bit of spiciness brought out by ginger and fruit type flavors. I find that this cigar with it brings out a little bit more spice than you normally get, which makes it, for me, an excellent pairing. It really stands up to the cigar. It's not watered down by it.
Right. Definitely a cool sweetness and spice on the Balvenie. It's kind of shocking me, I'm not gonna lie. A ginger spice, definitely. Something cool about the 1509. So the 1509 from Balvenie is their oak marrying method. It's what they call that stave unit or that rack house unit, where when they rotate between barrels, they do all that. These are special batch releases. So each one comes in a different batch. This is for 4. Batch number 4. Now batch number 4 is a ton blend of 23 different casks, including a majority of sherry and American oak. So it's basically, think, you know how you stack a bunch of glasses and you pour water in the top one and it thing about that is how this whiskey came to be. It's a very raw and not anywhere close visual representation of how it happened, but the idea is there. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, I have to say, I have to agree with you completely. The spice that is in that whiskey alone, in this Scotch here, really enhances that low cut you get here, but then it opens up all the sweetness too. And I think the sweetness is probably more the Scotch, more the whiskey itself than it is actually the cigar, but it does a very good trade-off.
And they bounce off of each other really well, enhancing each other's flavor.
Yeah. All right, guys. So we've had I think we've had a good little discussion. I mean, I know there wasn't much difference in words used. Is the best way to put it?
Well, we're in agreement, and often we're not.
The Scotch itself, this TUN 1509 batch 4, really treats this cigar well. We're going to talk about it a little more. We're going to roll right into our try by tonight. Get right to the essence. I think the most fun part of the show, where a lot of people get surprised and we piss a lot of people off. I don't know, it's fun for me. I don't know, I enjoy it. But before we do that, I want to have another taste of your glass, draw on the cigar again, kind of get a final thought of them together, and see, if it changes your mind at all. Okay? All right.
I'm nearly done because it was so good together.
All right, Melissa.
I have to say, doing the retro with this pairing, that's where I'm picking up a lot more of the peppery notes. It really just gives me this nasal bliss.
Nasal bliss.
Nasal bliss.
Okay. All right. So your try by tonight. What do you think?
I'd say they're both a buy, especially together.
Yeah. I have to agree. I have this own little weird thing that happens, and I think it honestly happens on everyone's palate when you have a proper pairing. So, without getting too biological and medicinal on this thing, when pH balances match on your palate, when your mouth starts watering, right? When you see a big steak or a big platter of seafood, and maybe you have the right kind of wine or beverage or whatever it is, and you see it and your mouth starts watering because of the smell. or the visual effect. That's your senses actually setting a chemical reaction in your brain and your body that creates taste, pleasure, nuance. That's where all that comes from. So when you take this 1509, take a sip of it. Don't do any of the crazy tasting stuff. You swish it around your mouth. Just drink it, and then you draw the smoke from the cigar. All the salivation in your mouth comes right to a point, and then it's going to sound so gross, but it creates this other drink. You know, this saliva in your mouth all comes to one point. When it settles all down, you have this awesome remnant taste in your mouth. The spices on the retrohale, that's exactly where you're feeling them. I almost want to say I think the cigar itself highlights the spice in the whiskey on your palate, and I think the whiskey is helping highlight the pepper of the cigar on the retrohale. You know, because it's lining your throat. When the smoke comes back, it picks that up and comes down to the nasal cavity. I don't know, maybe if that's what's doing that, but I have to agree. Together, it's definitely a buy. This is probably going to be a highlighted pairing now at some point. And I'm kind of actually not proud of myself. This is actually a blind pick by Melissa, so very, very well put together. Oh, they grow up so fast. No, great pairing. Seriously, together, I don't think that there could have been a better pairing. I mean, if we'd have done it a couple times, you could probably find a couple different, 9, 10 variations of something that would be great together. This is solid. When you're looking at the Chupita between $4.85 and $5.50 a stick across the country, TUN 1509, it's not a cheap whiskey, it's not a cheap scotch. I mean, it's not bad at all. We're looking at $32 for a pour. Not bad, especially the length of time that it can last. I'm a very quick drinker. Doesn't matter how much I'm talking. It really doesn't. Take big gulps, and this is going to last the rest of this cigar. It is a fantastic pairing. It works, so it's a buy all around. I don't think I have anything else to say about that. Anything else? Say something. I got a occupy here.
I agree with you on everything. We probably could find some other variations that would go well with it, but this was surprisingly perfect. When I picked it, I thought that they might flatter each other some. I didn't realize just how much. I really didn't expect that the cigar would bring out the pepperiness of the Balvenie so much. That spice to it.
Right.
And it's got to be the ginger. But it's not your typical taste that you expect from ginger.
No, not at all. And it's a combination of all that cash maturity. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. The different years, the different seasonings, how long, the char level, all that jazz has something to do with all.
And how they blended it together.
Right. All right, guys, that's it for week 2. The pairing was a lot of fun. Melissa, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else you want to say before we jazz out here? No? All right. Yeah, great pairing. Super awesome. Next week, the video, we're doing the Chupacabra Maduro Robusto Grande. So that cigar is going to be much more of a boastful, plentiful cigar. We'll talk about that again. You guys know how this works. Go down, like, comment, subscribe, ding that little bell. If you're 18 years or older and local to the state of Missouri, leave a comment. If your comment gets the most likes from other viewers, come in here and I'm going to hand you this cigar. Well, not this one, but one out of this box. I'm going to hand you a cigar and give you the opportunity to sit down on the show with us. Okay? Just do it. It's a free cigar. If I'm allowed to say that, I can say it, right? Yeah, it's a free cigar. You're good. All right, guys. Remember, we drink,
We smoke.
and we know things. Cheers.